Hi everyone, it's Maura here from FMO Media. Today we're joined by Shawn and Jimmy Willard. They are with the amazing H. Berry Smith Realtors and Auctioneers. They'll be telling us kind of what first got them into real estate and estate auctions. I just want to thank you both so much for being here today. We are so excited to learn more about why auctions should be our first choice of action when buying or selling our home. So thanks guys so much for coming. We're so excited to have you here. So we're going to kind of start off. I just want you guys to tell us a little about yourself and how you got started in real estate and auctions.
I got started, my dad was actually in the business. And so as a youngster, I was helping him with auctions and running clerking sheets and clerking. And I think I was probably about 16 or 17 years old. And he was at the end of a row at an auction. He said, "Jimmy, jump in there and take over." So I did. And then it all kind of evolved from there. And I think Shawn probably started, kind of the same way through his dad, my dad, his grandfather, and kind of went from there.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I can't believe you started so young.
Yeah, I was similar situation. More when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, I was running what they call clerking sheets at auctions, and I think I would get like $10 or $20 for a day's work. So that was, but I thought that was $1 million back then. And like Jimmy said, my grandfather and Jimmy is my uncle, and my father, his name was Paul. We're all in the auction business as I grew up. So I had it in my bones, in my blood when I was a young fella. And then as I got out of college, I got my auctioneer's license and was pursuing some other things. And then it was funny. I was in Florida one day. I was kind of in between deciding what to do, and Jimmy and I were on the phone, and Jimmy said, "Well, just come on and get in the business." And so that's all it took. So I came back home, and 22 years later, I'm still here. So that's it.
I love that. That's awesome. So since you guys this has been in your family for so long, like what's the history behind it? How long has it been in your family? Has it always been called H. Berry Smith? I just kind of want to know all the background.
Actually, Berry Smith was the founder of H. Berry Smith Company, but prior to that, in the 70s, he was partners with my dad, and it was Smith and Willard Auctions. And then they had another partner that it was Smith, Goins, and Willard. And so they each had separate real estate companies, so they split up. And then so I was with my dad, and then Barry and I went to the Certified Auctioneers Institute together, and we were kind of actually competitors back then. But we decided it'd be best for both of us if we joined up. And so I became his partner in 1991. And then I think it was about 10 to 12 years ago, Shawn and I bought the entire company. And so we now own the company H. Berry Smith Realtors and Auctioneers, along with Weichert Realtors H. Berry Smith Company.
Wow, that's incredible. That's awesome. You guys really have made it such a far way. It's very impressive. I love it. So speaking of all of that, what kind of sets you guys apart from other real estate and auction companies? Obviously, the auctioneering sets you guys apart for sure, and having this in your family for so long, so you guys have so much experience. I think that's definitely something that sets you apart. But other than that, what do you guys think are like the main things that really just are why you guys are the best option?
I think one thing that's attractive to people is that we are a family business. We're local, but yet we have a national presence with our two franchises, being Martinet Alliance for the auction side and Weichert Realtors for the realtors side. So we can give you the local treatment, friendly family service, and then Shawn could probably expound on that a little bit.
Yes, we take pride in the service we give our customers and clients, and probably I would say 60 to 65% of our real estate and auction business comes back from referrals, and so we take pride in that we do such a good job that they want to refer our company, real estate and auction side, to not only their family and friends, but also their closest colleagues. And so that's something we take pride in. And also, our training now that we've got available for our agents in order to give our clients and customers the best service possible. So we try to preach that. We have a very strict core values that we have with our agents that spills over into the work that they give into the customers and clients.
Awesome. Speaking of the core values, I just kind of want to know like what that means to you guys and how you implement that in your everyday work life.
Yeah, the core values, it spills from the way Jimmy and I were raised by our parents, and also the mentors we had in our business. But we want the best of the best, and so we do some recruiting, but we are very, very picky about our recruiting. And so we tell our folks when they come in, hey, you're here for a reason. We have a poster of our core values in our conference room where we have our interviews and such with agents and clients and customers, to be honest. And so they know that we have their best interests in mind. And so it's big for us. We talk about that quite a bit. As a broker, I take more phone calls from my agents and customers and clients sometimes about personal issues to help them through things than I do about real estate and auction stuff. And that's cool. That's no problem. I understand that. And but we that's why we're more family knit, to be honest.
I love that. I think that's really important. And it is something that I think sets you guys apart because it shows that you do care more than just the price tag. You really care about these people when you want what's best. And I think that constant referrals really show that. And especially because I feel like you guys are very involved in your community. And I just kind of want to know like what the community's like, if you like what your guys' involvement is like. And I mean, growing up and stuff, just how it's changed and kind of how it's affected your business.
Probably the biggest change, and with most businesses, is technology and the things that have changed and what we have to keep up with. The advent of online auctions, online only, is something that we had to learn how to do. And with the pandemic, that led more and more into that. And so you just have to keep changing, evolving, and keep up with the times.
Yeah, we call it an auction and real estate community because at the end of the day, whether we're competitors or not, we have to work together. And there's a saying in the auction world of auctioneers helping other auctioneers, and that's what we do. If you're in the auction community and you need help, whether you work for the H. Berry Smith Company or not, we're gonna reach out and help you if you need it. And the best of the best do that. And so if you're talking about community wise, as far as real estate and auction wise, that it's grown over the years, but technology, like Jimmy said, has kept us a little closer than what we used to be. We used to maybe meet one or two times a year, and now we can pick up a phone or a Zoom meeting and meet quite often, and it keeps the industry in a good position.
Yeah, technology is definitely a plus, but it also comes with its issues, and it definitely you need to adjust. And I do agree with that. And I think that it is pretty crazy that you guys have to adjust into that, and especially with the pandemic, it really I feel like affected people and it came quick. So I think you guys have been doing a really great job about doing that. And I just kind of want to get into why auctioneering is the best option. Why, if I'm looking for a house or I'm trying to sell my house, why should I auction it?
I think a big thing there is that an auction focuses on one particular property, and it's set. You can set your time when you want to sell it, when you want to close it. If you're the seller, if you're the buyer, you can have that price in mind. You know what your limit is, what you'll go up to. And it just has several advantages to know when it's going to be done, when it's going to actually sell, and when it's actually going to close. And it's pretty cut and dry process.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple, seamless process, and we try to, not every real estate property is an auction candidate, but if you think of it first, then you can say, yeah, that fits or it don't. And the thing about an auction as well is auctions start at a number and go up, whereas real estate, you may start at a number and then you have to negotiate down. And so that's one plus for sellers is to say, hey, we may have this price in mind, but this auction is going to drive it up even higher. And so that's one reason just to think of auction first, and instead of just automatically going straight to a listing.
Awesome. It's really interesting. Because it's just something that I feel like a lot of people don't think of as an option. And I think that's why you guys are so special. And I think that's why people should start using it more because like you said, you just go up. And that's kind of why like I'm wondering in like a seller's market, especially right now with inventory moving at light speed, what kind of advice do you guys have for buyers, especially with auctioneering? Like what is your biggest tip of advice for people moving forward in either buying or selling a home?
I would say on private listing, still the key to anything is pricing it right, having the right price. Now, as far as an auction, there's no price to be set, as Shawn said. But I think in the private market, regardless of how the market is, the price has to be set right.
Correct. And you need to have a plan. And that's what we're here for. We have actually a 16-step consultation that we have with buyers and sellers that we take them from the first step all the way to closing. And if you have that plan, it takes a lot of that stress and overwhelming type feeling away. You're still going to have stress. The top three most stressful things you'll do in life is have a death in the family, divorce, and buying and selling real estate. So that you're going to have that, whether it's going to happen. But if you have hire professionals, they can take a lot of that stress away from you. And so having that plan together and meet with your agent or and the clients and customers to give them that plan it just makes the road a little easier.
Can you kind of talk more about what the 16-step plan is and kind of how it really like does help with the overwhelmingness of it? Because it obviously, like you said, is one of the most stressful experiences of your life.
Yeah, it starts by just having a consultation, just the first phone call meeting and sitting down face to face. And then, you go from if you're going to get a loan, making sure you're approved with your local lender or mortgage company. And then, then you want to start knowing the neighborhood. What neighborhood's best for you guys? Is there a school district you want to be in? Does work play in the factor of driving? Things of that nature. And then you start looking, start looking for homes and having a plan for once you buy, what's going to happen next. And normally when you get a contract for sale, then we help you through inspections, lining up insurance, your title work, things of that nature. And then hopefully by the end of the day and when it's all over with, we have a very successful and smooth closing when it's all done. So yeah, a lot of steps to do, but that's why we're here.
And we'll even hook them up with a moving company.
That's correct.
There you go. You got the connections. I love that. Yeah, I do think that that's really important. And I think the fact that you guys have those connections and that you're able to have this process, because this is something that should be exciting for people and not something that is so overwhelming that it's not fun. And you guys are able to make it something that's fun and an exciting time and take a lot of the stress. And I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So I also kind of want to know, I know I'm biased since I work in social media, but I kind of want to know. I know we've talked a little bit about technology and how it's changing, but how do you see social media marketing impacting the real estate industry as a whole?
We're seeing part of it right now by us working on this podcast with you. That's one step. And I know we're doing some other things. We have been doing things through social media. A big thing that we're not real familiar with, but I know a lot of people are, is TikTok. And I had someone from Los Angeles, California, tell me that was the main way people in California look for real estate. It's through TikTok. It hasn't, and back then I tried it a little bit, but I didn't see much advantage there, but I think it will come. But with whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it has to be used.
Yeah, and social media, you can find out about a property before it even hits the market, and that's an advantage for not only sellers but buyers. Especially in this market, when you don't, there's not a lot of inventory. Um, whether it be me or Jimmy or any agent, you can post a picture and say upcoming brand new house and on social media, and you're getting already constant business from it, and before it even you put it on the multiple listing service. And so just the speed of being able to reach people and also a larger demographic. Social media does that for your business, and we're barely touching the surface of it right now. So thank goodness we got you guys, Maura, so that we're going to move a little faster.
That's true. That's true.
That's what we're here for, to get you guys diving in deep.
That's right.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. It definitely is moving fast. And I think that since you guys have such a great connection with your community in Shelbyville, that we're going to want to just reach out to an even larger demographic so people can even just get educated on auctioneering. Like for me, I didn't know a lot about it at all. And I know for me, like to be getting my research, like kind of what is your guys' best advice for someone who is just kind of starting to research the background of it and stuff like that?
The big thing would be to learn the terms. Uh, Auction, absolute auction, online auction, live auction, uh, simulcast auction, and then just read and study the terms and descriptions and make yourself knowledgeable about the facts.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many different types of auctions that we could spend all day on here going over, but knowing a little bit, but also on the auction company, make sure you're getting a qualified auctioneer. Make sure that the company has at least what we call a Certified Auctioneer Institute graduate. That is the highest degree, I would say, for an auctioneer to have. And there's only about 1,000 in the whole nation of CAI grads. So Jimmy and I both are proud graduates of CAI, but make sure the company you're dealing with has that, and also that they're members of their state organization and the National Auctioneers Association. That means they're doing the education. They know the ethics of the auction world, and so that's big when you're researching auction companies. Make sure you look into that.
That's awesome. I had no idea about that. And the fact that you guys are 2 out of the 1,000 is incredible, that you work in the same office. I love that. And kind of with that, like, I know you were talking earlier about a training program. Is that something that you do more for real estate with Weicker, or is it something that you do more in auctioneering? Like, are you training people to kind of be more like you guys in one of the 1,000?
Yeah. And Jimmy can attest to this too, is when I first got into business, my training was, hey, hop in the truck. I'm going to take you on a listing. You're just going to have to learn on the run. And which is okay. That's part of it. But again, I didn't have the technology back then that I have now. It used to be you had a book full of listings that the book came out maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. of listings, but now you have constant contact of anything. And so what we've done with our real estate business is, with Wyckoff Realtors, we have a training program that we put all of our agents through that gives them all the tools they need to help their clients and customers to the highest level. And we didn't used to have that, to be honest, and now we do. And it makes the world a lot easier for our agents. And so just that alone, the training, not only does it help our agents, but man, it really guides our customers and clients down the road. So,
And we still train ourselves by going to state association meetings, conventions, national conventions. I've probably been to 25 national conventions. We attend seminars. We learn and talk to and listen and learn from other auctioneers from around the state and around the country. And some of the best education you can get is standing out in the hallway talking to your peers.
I love that. Do you guys have any like famous mentors that you looked up to? I feel like you guys are probably a lot of your agents' mentors, and you guys are so experienced and educated in all of it. So I'm just kind of wondering if you have any famous mentors that you guys really look up to and people that you really idolize and that have helped you through this process.
Of course, I'd say first of all, my main mentor would have been my dad, and of course Barry Smith. And I came up through the ranks with some great auctioneers here in the state of Kentucky, like the Ford brothers, uh, Bill Kurtz from down in Owensboro, Kentucky, and I even had one auctioneer that I think gave me the best piece of advice that I could have picked up from anyone. And say whether it be writing an ad or something, but he told me he could steal genius better than he could create mediocrity. So you can pick up something from someone else and use it, and maybe better than what you can create yourself.
yeah, I agree. And Jimmy mentioned that, a lot of the same mentors I had, my grandfather, Bill Willard, my dad, he helped on auctions that, more on weekends and such, but just learning his chant was a big help for me, and just starting my chant in the auction world. But in my instance, I grew up I played sports a lot when I was in high school and such, and I got a lot of my I guess competitiveness through that. And I had a coach tell me one time, he said, "Shawn, if you're ever comfortable, that means your competition is beating you." And so that stuck with me, to always push myself to be uncomfortable sometimes, and that's good. And so those are kind of my things that push myself in the business.
Love that. And I think that that's another reason why you guys are such great mentors for all of these people coming into the auctioneering world, because you've had all this experience and you've grown up with it, yet you are also taking all of these experiences from different parts of your life, which I think is something that's very valuable, especially in today's day and age, and something that I think a lot of people would be lucky to experience. So I think that's something that's really awesome for you guys. And the fact that it's been in your family for so long is incredible. And I just kind of want to know, like, since it's been in the family for so long and you guys just keep growing, like, what is in store for the company in the future?
As you said, we'll keep growing, keep continuing to do what we do, but we have to keep changing with the times, adapting, doing new things, but yet still rely back on our basic of serving our customers.
Yeah, I always tell folks I wish I had a crystal ball because I'd be a multi-billionaire. But the future of this company is kind of fun watching. We've got some young go-getters that have joined us in the last few years, and I see them growing, and it's kind of fun watching them kind of grow up in the business and take on a little bit of leadership. And we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep working for our customers and clients to the highest level, and we're going to keep working with our even our competitors to maybe, you never know, there may be mergers down the road. There may be times where we need to work together and make some big deals happen. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing and keep using great contacts like we have like with you, more.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to see what's in store for you guys. And I'm so excited to be a part of this journey because I think that this entire thing is so awesome. And it's been a really cool learning experience for me. And I'm sure a lot of people. And I think that auctioneering is something that more people should know about. And I just want to thank you guys so much, Shawn and Jimmy, for joining us today and everyone else for tuning in. We'll catch you all on the next podcast.